Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how your inner speech bends reality to your wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I heard from one of you, and also a similar situation from comments on the channel, that you were imagining that your SP apologized to you and that you would get back together. This came from one of you, and then there was a similar comment on the channel. So I really want to hit this today. And so sure enough, your SP sent you a text message apologizing. And then as you write in the email, you go, well, but I knew it. I knew that he wouldn't call me to apologize. Even though I didn't, my imaginal act was feeling the fulfillment of the apology and that we get together. But I knew it would just be another text message. And another one of you commented something similar on the channel. So here's what I really want to hit today. I don't want to go to the imaginal act today. We've talked about that in other videos. I want to talk about what happens after with your inner speech, with your inner talking, with the story you're telling yourself as you walk in that feeling of fulfillment that throws you out of that feeling of fulfillment. And remember, Neville Goddard said, when you control your inner talking to match your wish fulfilled, you can lay aside all other processes. Hear the power in that statement that Neville said. As you master your inner speech, that inner talking, to match your wish fulfilled, you can lay aside all other processes. That's how important that inner talking is, the story you're telling yourself. So let's really unpack it today like we've never unpacked it before. So inner speech, that's your story. Think about it, right? You imagined your wish, you got your apology, but within you was a story going on. The story was that, yeah, he apologizes, but not in the way I want him to apologize. Do you hear what's going on? And of course, that's the reality you create. But hear this. It's not only a reality you create in the future, because there is no time anyway. You're creating that reality right now. Your inner speech, the story you're telling yourself, creates your reality in every moment. That's how important that is, right? You're imagining in every moment with the story you're telling yourself. Do you hear this? It's an imaginal act in every moment with your thoughts and your story, right? That inner speech, that inner talking. This is what Neville says. This whole vast world is but frozen inner speech. Frozen. Look around. That's your inner speech. God sees not the outer man. He sees the inner man. God sees that inner you, that inner speech, that inner talking, right? Your mental conversations create your reality. Your reality equals your story right now, the story you're telling yourself, right? Your story is your entire life experience in every moment. This is big. Right? So your thoughts, the thoughts you're thinking, is your entire life experience. When? Right now. In this now moment. That's all you have, is that story you're telling yourself. And when you look out at the world and you tell a story of, well, they always do treat me like that, or they don't do it the way I want it, or you're complaining and resisting, that's the reality you create in that moment. And that becomes your reality. That becomes your life experience, right? There's no reality, hear this, other than what you are thinking, or in other words, the story you're telling yourself in this very moment. Your inner speech. There's no other reality than your inner speech and your inner talk. And that's why Neville made such a powerful statement. That if you're not matching your story, your inner speech, to your wish fulfilled, you're creating a reality that's not equal to the one that you desire or you want. Do you hear this? Let's unpack this a little bit more. Your inner speech equals your imaginal activity. Yes, there's an imaginal act when you drop off to sleep and you go into the state akin to sleep. Absolutely. But then you're telling that story or your story all day long with your inner talking. Do you see this? It didn't match. It didn't match your fulfilled state. Your fulfilled state was a feeling that you feel fulfilled now. right? That there was an apology, you feel like you're going to get together, but then you immediately contradict that with saying, well, it's not the way I wanted it. That bounces you totally out of fulfillment. You begin immediately creating a life experience, a reality of that, of not getting what you want, not getting people disappointing you, people letting you down. Not just with your SP, but everything, right? We'll start reflecting that. That's how powerful that is. And this is what Neville says, to attempt to change circumstances before I change my own imaginal activity is to struggle against the very nature of my own being. Wow. Such a powerful statement, right? Your imaginal activity is your inner speech, is that inner talking, right? It's not just that act that you do as you drop off to sleep, right? That to attempt to change anything, even him, to send you, to attempt to change the circumstances that he calls you to apologize is impossible with your inner speech and your inner talking and the story that you've been telling yourself. Do you hear this, right? In other words, when you change your inner speech or your talking, you change your reality and life experience. When? Right now. You are a reality creator with the thoughts you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're assuming, the story you're telling yourself. That's how powerful inner speech is. There's nothing in your world other than your thoughts you are thinking at this moment. This is huge. What does that mean? That means that's your inner speech, the story. There's nothing else in this world as you look out other than the story you're telling yourself and about your relationship to the world. That's your world. That's your life. That's your reality. Why not tell the story as you want it to be? Right? Tell the story that you would like to be true, and it will be true. Right? We talk ourselves into our life circumstances anyway. You talked yourself into what you're experiencing right now. Why not talk yourself into the life of your dreams? Right? This is big. I've hit this before, but never the way we're going to hit it today. Everything only exists as a memory, as an image. Hear that. So even as you think, it's only existing as some memory. Remember, memories are just images. And you're always in the past. So whatever you're thinking, you're in the past. Unless you're lighting up that future frame. You're imagining how things could be as versus how they are or how they were. Right? We spend most of our time looking around and imagining how things were or how they are and complaining about it. Or maybe not verbally complaining, but resisting it, feeling the frustration, feeling even a slight tingling of unwanted. Of not being satisfied. You're carrying that. Do you see that? So you want to be in the real present moment, the eternal present moment. You've got to be lighting up that future as you want it to be, and make that the only true reality, as we talked about yesterday. And only when you're thinking about it. So everything only exists as a memory or an image, and it only exists when you're thinking about it or talking about it in your inner speech. Do you hear that? Otherwise, it doesn't exist. You are always in the past unless you are not. Do you hear this? You're always in the past unless you are not. When are you going to be not in the past? When you be in the eternal present, which is really the future? When you're imagining how you would like things to be. When you're in your wish fulfilled. When you refuse, not resist, when you refuse to accept anything but that story, that the story of how you would like it to be. Hear this, right? You're not resisting the current circumstances. You're creating them. You're telling it how you would like it to be because it is when you start telling that, right? But this is big. Your beliefs, your assumptions, your opinions, all of it is created by you, by what you're thinking in the very moment and now. All of it. We keep thinking, well, that's what I believe, or that's how I grew up, or these are the opinions I have. All of that is up for grabs. In this very moment, you can change the whole mosaic of time. Because linear time doesn't exist. We're in the eternal now. You can change the past, present, and future by changing this. And not by resisting it, by just choosing again. Choose the story that you would like to be true. So it's not about controlling your thoughts. It's just letting that thought be and then telling a new story. Do you hear this? It's almost like revision in real time. Neville's talks about revision, right? Revising what happened or revising the condition. Well, you're using revision in real time because you're always in the past unless you're in the future. Right? This is big. Nothing exists. None of your experience is outside of what you're thinking and the story you're telling yourself right now. Wow. Nothing exists. Look around, nothing exists except what you're thinking and the story you're telling yourself right now. That's how you create your reality in every moment, by what you see, perceive, and think. Right? Wow, that's big. So when you are thinking about what you want, you're telling the story of what you want, inner speech. See, do you hear this? When you're thinking about what you want, you're telling the story about what you want. And you are creating an experience, a reality about thinking about what you want. This is big. Okay, so if you're just thinking about what you want, right, you're telling the story about what you want. That's your inner speech. That means you're creating a reality of wanting. Do you hear this? Instead of telling the story from already being fulfilled, from already having what you want, right? You are creating an experience, a reality of thinking about what you want. You create a world of wanting in that instant. Do you get that? Wanting creates more wanting. So you wanted things to be different. You wanted your SP to send you a phone call. Well, that just keeps creating a reality of wanting things to be different. And you don't get to the improvement, right? You've got to be it. You've got to be in that. You've got to be thinking from the improvement. You've got to be thinking from that wanted reality. Do you hear this? You've got to be thinking from the desire. That's what Neville always says, right? From the wish fulfilled, right? Otherwise, wanting creates more wanting. As we control, this is what Neville says, as we control our inner talking, matching it to our fulfilled desires, we can lay aside all other processes. This is what I said a few minutes ago. This is so huge. Do you hear what he's saying here? Right? And notice the wording, at matching it to our fulfilled desires, not to what we want, right? We're not matching our inner speech to what we want. Why? Because that just creates wanting. Right? You create when you're just thinking, your inner speech is about what you want. You create a reality of wanting things, but never having them. But when you control your inner talking, and I'm going to talk about it, Neville uses control, but I think that always feels like some resistance in that. So I really want to talk about that in a few minutes. But for now, we're going to take this. The inner talking, matching it to our fulfilled desires, we can lay aside all other processes. Matching it to our fulfilled desires, not to what we want, to the reality of already having it. Wow, that's big. This is so huge. So huge. So, inner speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world. It's thinking from. Do you hear it? The inner speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world. Thinking from your wish fulfilled. Right? So whatever you're saying, whatever you're talking, whatever that story you're telling yourself, you're thinking from that story. And when you think from something, you create it. You occupy that reality. Wow. So you want to tell the story of what you want, what you would like to be true, because when you do that, it becomes true in that instance. You create what is true. There's only ultimate reality, that unconditioned consciousness. Everything else is that you decide what's real and what's not real after that. Do you hear this, right? Each person must be fully convinced of in his own mind. This is Romans 14:5. In Scripture, it says it right here. That's what Scripture's talking about. They're pointing to inner speech. It's being convinced in your mind, in your inner talking, right? Inner talking, conviction. That's what that means, right? That's where whatever you're thinking, whatever you're telling yourself, you're convinced of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be telling yourself that. Do you hear this? So why not become convinced? Why not you've talked yourself into this life already. Why not talk yourself into the life of your dreams? Why not become convinced of what you would like to be true versus looking around and having that become your story? Do you hear this, right? You create your present by your inner talking in the story you are telling yourself right now. You create that present moment. Right? That you create it, and that present moment becomes the past because you're mostly talking about how you would like things to improve, or what happened yesterday, or what didn't happen yet, right? So this means that you change your story, you change your reality instantly. When you change your story, when you change your inner talking, when you choose the story how you would like things to be, when you do this real-time revision, you now create reality instantly, right? Why? Because there's no experience outside of what you're thinking about in the present moment. There's no other experience. It's all what you're thinking and the story you're telling yourself right now. So you're literally creating reality with your inner speech, with your inner talking, with the story you're telling yourself. So big. So it's not about controlling your thoughts. Tell the story of how you would like it to be. Always return to your new story no matter what. Right? We talked about always returning to that wish fulfilled. Well, that's what we mean here, right? Tell the story how would you like it to be. Always return to that story. As you do, you attract other thoughts, people, events, and circumstances that confirm it, and you give immediate reality to your new story. Even if you don't see immediately people flocking to you, it's in motion. Things have changed. And sometimes those are subtle at first until they're not. Right? Remember, you're in a new reality. And the scenery has changed, and things are changing, and it might appear subtle until it's not. Do you hear this? And then suddenly it just looks like it's changing overnight, but it's not. It's been changing the whole time. Right? That's why when you hear these people say, hey, it seems like you're an overnight success. No, it's always been changing. You're changing realities, right? You have talked yourself into your current reality. Now you can talk yourself into the reality you consciously choose, right? We're not talking about daily affirmations and things that feel like work, right? Sometimes affirmations feel like work. They feel like effort, something you have to get out of the way, right? Before you start your day or before you go to bed, right? They start to become effort, and then most times they affirm, you do it from a place of lack or a place of feeling the absence of what you want. And you end up affirming that lack or affirming that absence, right? We're saying, tell a new story. How would you like it to be true from that place of truth within? You can tell a new story from your heart's desire, right? From your heart. You're telling it from a place of truth. It's true for you. That's big. So let's unpack this a little bit more. It's like revision in real time, as I talked to you about. Moment by moment, you're always telling a story with your inner speech. Always match your story to your wish fulfilled. And this is what Neville says, when imagination matches your inner speech to fulfilled desire, again, look at the wording, to fulfilled desire, there will then be a straight path in yourself, I love this, from within out. And that without will instantly reflect the within for you. Wow! Hear this. Again, it gives you tingles, doesn't it? When imagination matches your inner speech to fulfill desire, there will then be a straight path in yourself from within out. And the without will instantly reflect the within for you. It's basically you're making a beeline to your inner fulfillment, from your inner fulfillment to your manifested desire. That's what inner speech does. When you match it to the fulfilled desire, when you match it to that fulfilled state, it creates a beeline from your state within to the manifestation in 3D reality. That's big, and that's the B. I didn't have yellow. I should get yellow, but I don't have it, so it's an orange B. Assume the story you are telling is true in the telling of it. When you tell it, it's true. And assume it's true in the telling of it. Flip the script on any unwanted event by telling the positive side. And I put this in quotations because remember, positive and negative, wanted and unwanted is relative. But tell the story of how you would like it, right? Flip the script on any unwanted event, right? Deny it. Don't resist it. Deny anything that contradicts your new story. I'm not saying resist it. I'm saying you can flat out deny it. Flat out refuse to entertain it. And change the story immediately into how you would like to see it. That's how powerful you are. You change reality. You bend time and you bend reality when you do that. Don't react. Don't complain. Don't justify. Don't try to prove anything. None of that. Right. Whenever you do any of these things, whenever you react, complain, justify, and prove, you create the reality of complaining. You create the very things that you're complaining about. Do you hear this? When you complain, you create the reality to complain about. Just like you said that when your SP didn't send you a text and didn't do a phone call, you created that to complain about. Guys, you create your own reality, and that was clearly created by you, right? And the more you complain, the more you attract more things to complain about. And you don't attract them, you create them. And you don't even create them or manifest them. You just perceive them now because you're seeing through the eyes of complaints. So that's the only thing you can see. You start seeing the 0.0001% of 3D reality to complain about, as versus the 99.9999% of really what you want, that you have no complaints. Do you see that? Always tell the story that feels good, that aligns with fulfillment, right? Nothing can ever go wrong when you tell the story of how you would like things to be. I want you to really hear this, because sometimes we let fear and doubt take us over. But I really want you to hear this loud and clear. Nothing can ever go wrong when you're telling the story of how you would like things to be. Wow, I got a tingle when I said that. When you are matching your inner speech to your fulfilled desire, when your inner talking is matching your fulfilled desire, nothing can go wrong. Non-fulfillment is an impossibility. I'm telling you right now. Only you can create the possibility of non-fulfillment by doubting it. By fearing something will go wrong. Nothing can go wrong when you tell that new story, when you use your inner speech and your inner talking to create your reality in the moment. That's so big. And so, in the moment you refuse, not resist, refuse to be tempted by unwanted conditions in 3D. In the moment you refuse to be tempted by unwanted conditions, in the moment you tell a new story, in the moment you begin to see everything through the eyes of fulfillment, through the eyes of your inner being, through the eyes of that dimensionally larger reality, that dimensionally larger you bend time and reshape the past, present, and future. Because there is no linear time. It's all happening right now. And everything changes. Don't be surprised if something that you thought happened in the past, it's remembered in a whole different way. You get a phone call that is unexpected. And they'll say to you, well, I don't remember that. That's how it works, I promise you. The real power in a given moment and now, here's the real power, right? So here's what I said, the unwanted fades as it is filtered out by your new powerful perception. Those unwanted realities can only exist if you put your attention on them, if you talk about them, if you direct your inner speech or your inner world towards them. Otherwise, they fade by your new powerful perception. You can no longer see them anymore. They're no longer part of your reality. Here's where the real power is, and this is really where we're going to hit. In a given moment of now, in any given moment of now, you can have a completely different experience of whatever is happening by matching your inner talking to your wish fulfilled, by matching your inner speech to your desired fulfilled, to your fulfilled desire, by telling the new story and only your new story. That is how inner speech bends reality to your wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. That's how we grow. You can follow us on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, our website at tomkearin.com and BeSomethingWonderful.com. You can write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I promise I will get back to each and every one of you. The box is getting full, but I'm going to get there. Guys, until next time, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom. See you soon.